Good morning, guys. Watho back again. This is basically maybe to show you what not to do. The wings have come up pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what I've done, but the mistakes that I've made over time. Firstly, using resin rather than epoxy, 2-part, and that ate away down through here on the wing, as you can see, with all the added filler that I've had to use in there. So that was my first mistake, and unbeknownst, I used a car filler or body filler to fill up all the imperfections there and get it back to where I wanted it. In saying that, I had a lot of dings and dints and whatnot through the wings that you can see there, where all the car bog, as we call it over here, or fillers was used. In saying that, the wings come together fairly well, but my biggest drawback is the fact that the weight now is nearly double what the original wings were. Original wings were around about 250 grams. These have come out, because the bog that I've used more on one wing than the other. There's about 50 to 70 grams difference in weight, and the weights are up around 430 grams to nearly 500, I think, with this one here, which is where I've added more bog, so nearly double the weight. So I'm not really sure whether they're going to work in the plane for me, or the glider. I've got a reasonable finish from it. I mean, you could probably really sand it right back and get a perfect finish, but yeah, I don't know, we'll see how we go. I'm going to have a go at making some wings out of some foam board and see how I go there, try and get this glider back in the air. From there, I've cut in, as you can see, I've cut in ailerons. I've still got another hinge to put in there. I'll put the flaps in and hinge them. They're working fine. So basically cutting them in using a Dremel. Where are we? With a cutting tool as that on the end of it, and that seemed to work well. So cut them in. I did need, on the bottom of the flap, I needed to cut that down a little bit so that I could get the throws that I was after. So it goes up a little, but comes back down quite well, so I'm reasonably happy with that. I did notice cutting it with the Dremel, I'm not sure whether you can pick up the fractures of the joint, so because it's so brittle, it does just break away. So obviously I'll need to coat that with epoxy again, but grabbing the aileron there the other day, I gave it a little bit of a flex to see how flexible it was, and it snapped. So I've glued that back together. I've still yet to put centre line up through the centre of the ailerons, so these hinges here can mount into them and hence set back into the wings. So yeah, if you're going to build wings like this and you do have defects in them, all the rest of it, I would be a lot more cautious, as in to use as little filler as possible, or maybe a spackle, you know, for what you use around home, may work out a lot lighter than the body filler for the cars. If you can see in there, you can see the amount of bog or nicky or car filler that I've got on some of there. So that definitely adds a great deal of weight. In saying that, I don't know whether they're going to be successful or not. Like I say, I'll keep playing with them. But like I say, we'll need to recoat all that with the epoxy. I was tossing up whether to cover it with epoxy or maybe just tape, clear tape, packing tape. That's still something to play with. But in general, I'm pretty happy with what I've done. I really think that what I've learnt from my mistakes here is the fact that get these wings as close to perfect as you can, and try not to use any filler. Yeah, I knocked these around a bit, and therefore had to use a reasonable amount. I'd say also adding, like cutting out my spars was good, but in that respect I still had to use a lot of filler around the spar because it was probably too big. So maybe with the spar, putting the spar in, it might have been a better idea to actually cut with a knife or a Dremel, and cut that out, and then furrow that out with the Dremel to get it where you want it to be, rather than the soldering iron. Like I say, we all learn from our mistakes, but yeah, I might have another go at cutting these out again and doing a better job on them. So it's just giving you the heads up on what works and what doesn't. Hopefully it'll make for an easier build for your wings. We haven't got a great deal of flex in the wings, which is good. Well, is good in one respect. I don't know whether that's going to be good or bad. I don't know whether they'll take too much punishment. On hard landings, I think that I think they might break up into a million pieces. But we live and learn, and hopefully I might be able to give you some insight as into do some of the things I haven't done. So it'll improve your wing building and make for a better job. It will be interesting with the epoxy, and if I do get these wings on the glider and flying, to how much abuse they can take. That would be the other thing that would be a bit curious to me. Your other foam wings, I mean, there's no spar in this, but they've got plenty of flex there without any, doing any damage. Once these have been coated with the resin, or epoxy, should I say, that narrows the flex down quite a bit, and I think you'll find that a bad landing will give you a lot more damage, so to speak. But anyway, guys, I hope you've learnt from my mistakes and can avoid them. And yeah, build a better wing. Like I was saying about it being really brittle, as I've cut it there, you can see how much of the resin is, or epoxy rather, is flaked off it. So it is very brittle. So maybe worthwhile taking another route rather than trying to go down this road. But anyway, I hope that's helped some people. Hope it's given you some insight as into what to do and what not to do. It has been a fun build. It's not finished, but I've learned a lot along the way. So if it helps, that's all great. For now, we'll get back to maybe having a go with the Dollar Tree foam or foam board, and I'll have a play with that and see what I can put together. I don't think I'll make a video on that, as in the guy from Lee, I think it is, from Experimental Airlines, makes some very good videos on the arm and wings and builds and techniques. He's brilliant. He's taught me a lot. Anyway, that's it from me, and back to the bench. Thanks, guys. Bye.